halfway around the world, set it up here in a small amount of time and demonstrate it to an audience. So congratulations to all the teams. We've got 9 shortlisted teams demonstrating today, and I'm very pleased to say that each of those teams has managed to get their surgical robot working in the challenge. So well done to everyone. So the timetable for today is from now, about 9:15, up until 3 o'clock. We're going to have the demonstrations here. So each team will go around to each team, we'll do a formal little demonstration, and then at 4 o'clock we've got the judging panel. So the judging panel takes place in the Royal Geographical Society, which is a 5-minute walk, and it takes place in the main lecture theatre. So each team is going to have 10 minutes to do a formal presentation. They're going to show a video, a 2-minute video that they've recorded in advance, and then they're going to give this short presentation to the judging panel, and there'll be an audience there as well. And there are prizes associated with this competition. So there's a total prize fund of £10,000, and there are 4 prizes and an overall winner as well. So it's a very worthwhile competition. So thank you all for taking part, and thank you all for coming to observe as well. So what we're going to do now, we're going to have our first team to demonstrate their technology they've been developing alongside the DVRK. And this is a team from Hungary, from Oboda University. So thank you for being with us. And you're going to give a brief demonstration, and then we'll have a short time when you can come around and you can ask them questions, and they can show you some detailed aspects of their work. And then, as you can see, we've got multiple demos set up, so when this demo is finished, the next team is going to set up on the DVRK, and we'll go to a different demonstration depending on which one is ready, and then we'll continue the process. So coffee breaks are available, and there's also a lunch break. All the food and drinks are served over in the Royal Geographical Society. So yeah, we'll head over there at the right times. Also, very importantly, the fire exit. There are a set of stairs just there. If you hear an alarm, please just leave the building, go all the way to the ground floor, and head south along the road that runs to Imperial College, and then turn right when you get to the end, and you meet by a the big stone tower in the middle of Imperial College. So please be aware of that routine. So there's also toilets just on the right as you leave this reception area. I think that's all you need to know for now. So I'm going to hand over to our first team. If you want to introduce yourselves, talk about your technology, and then give us a short demonstration, please. Thank you.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. We are the IROP team from Budapest, Hungary. We work at the Oboda University's Antal-Basic Center for Intelligent Robotics. To my knowledge, this is the only surgical robotics lab in Hungary, so we are quite alone in the country, but it's great to be here. So first, let me introduce my teammates. She's Renata Elek and Tamás Nagy, and I'm Dr. Dénes Nagy. So our project was automating blunt dissection. So let me show you a little video on how it's done in the clinic. What you basically have is you have a dissecting instrument. It can be either a regular dissector or can be just simple scissors. And what you do is you go in with the instrument between the tissue layers. You go in the instrument closed, and once you are between the tissue layers, you carefully open your scissors or dissectors, and with that you separate the layers of tissue. They do this so if they would cut it, they would have a chance of cutting the artery or some other structures, and this way they can just carefully separate the tissue, causing minimal damage. Yes, so here we were focusing on the procedure of laparoscopic cholecystectomy. where they do this kind of maneuver quite often, but this is actually transferable to a wide variety of surgeries, because almost in every abdominal surgery the surgeon will do this kind of subtask during their procedure. So we were trying to do it as simple as possible. So we created a silicone sandwich phantom where we have an outer shell of two hard layers of silicone connected with a dissectable layer. And we just set the start and the stop point of the dissection line. We retract the top layer carefully, and then based on the stereo image of the camera and based on only that, we reconstruct the 3D surface of the surgical field. We choose the stereo image because during Da Vinci surgery that's always available. They have a stereoendoscopic camera, and we didn't want it to rely on any additional software like depth cameras, which is right now usually not available in the surgical room, and we just didn't want it to create any overhead. So once we reconstructed the 3D surface, we look into the surface and see where the two tissue layers collide, and that's going to be our dissection line. So we detect that automatically, and once we have our region of interest, or dissection line, we direct the instruments there, penetrate with the instrument, and open up the tissue layers. Here we used for dissection just a large needle driver, which is a quite common Da Vinci instrument. But because of the dimensions of this instrument, in this phantom the dissection is quite slow. But if you would use like a regular dissector or something with kind of bigger forceps, then you could progress a lot faster, like in this case the surgeon has. So the only interaction we need from the surgeon is just selecting the start and the stop point, basically just selecting our region of interest, so we won't dissect somewhere completely in an inaccurate place. And after that, everything is done autonomously. Just as a closing word, behind the big picture of what's the motivation behind this work, we looked into surgery, in this case laparoscopic cholecystectomy, and started to decompose it. We used surgical ontologies for that. And we selected the subtask layer of the ontologies because that's not surgery specific. The subtask level entries in that level of description, in that level of surgical process models, they are quite transferable between surgeries. So we would expect that if we can automate enough of these subtask level entries, then we could use this as building blocks for a great number of surgeries. So if we automate right now blunt dissection, but if other people would join into this framework and automate clip placement, bleeding control, retraction, and all of these subtask level entries, then that could be used as a library, and later we could build up even whole surgical processes. So thank you for your attention, and we are happy to answer any questions.
So do we have any questions?
Besides Phantom, have you done on the animal model?
No, not yet. Unfortunately, not yet. Actually, we wanted to bring a chicken breast here to show that as well, but we just couldn't find the right butcher on the street.
Is live demo there? So it's working live demo.
Yeah, so in this case you can see that we are reconstructing the surgical field from this stereo camera, which is basically just two web cameras attached together. We could use the Da Vinci stereo endoscope as well, but at our lab we just didn't have the frame grabbers for that video feed. So we would expect that this would work just as well, or probably even better, because in this case the video is coming from the direction of the light, and in that case we won't have those shadows which are sometimes right now could mess up the algorithm.
And what is the speed of this thing compared with surgeon doing the same task?
Well, that's quite funny. So we asked a surgeon to demonstrate us this procedure,
Yeah.
and what they basically did is that they started to do it slowly and carefully, and when they realized how the tissue worked, they just tear it apart. And they said that I'm done, I'm good. So surgeons are usually quite fast, and obviously right now it's just not comparable to this system. We expected that this could be sped up quite a lot if we could put like a stronger machine under the image processing. Right now the image processing is the limiting factor. Reconstructing the 3D field, that takes the most time. But otherwise, like setting the robot speed, it's not really a problem. We could sped it up quite easily. Yeah. Also, what we kind of envision is that there are two things. In this case, if we could just remove the surgeon from the console for a bit, then they can take a rest and like they could just relax their hands a bit, so it could kind of help them for a better ergonomy during the surgery. Also, this could, like these kinds of procedures could work on the side as well. So they are working on a previous task, but this could go forward and just explore that surgical field forward. So we think that it's not always really necessary to have your process going too fast. Because if you just organize your surgical process, so you'll have the time.
So I think it was last year we had a automated bleeding control system demonstrated. So I imagine a combination of this and the bleeding control and some other higher level techniques to control the surgery.
Yeah, I think that would be like, I think that should be our eventual goal, to create this library where we could just grab these pieces of software and just use as blocks, and we could just build up a whole procedure. I think that would be impressive. And I think with the DVRK and the Raven and the KUKA platforms and using them for our demonstrations, that's kind of the great thing about these platforms. Then what we created here is transferable to, like, we could transfer that from Budapest to here on the handling instrument, but we could transfer it to Hopkins or wherever they have the DVRK.
Great. So you're going to open up your technology, or are you going to develop it in-house until it's ready?
No, we're definitely open to. We are a fan of open source development.
Great. Okay, well, thank you very much. So if people want to come closer and take a look and ask some detailed questions, in the meantime, we'll get set up with another of the demonstrations, and we'll move to that probably in about 5-10 minutes. So thank you very much. Excellent demonstration and a good start. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure, so surgeon can take over this time, just start the system, and then it will follow the position. But that's almost like just using a freehand ultra. So it's we didn't really pay attention to that aspect yet. That's definitely something. I think it will be like the masters follows what the slave does, and if you follow it, then you transfer the master. Yeah, that's a good point that we should also after that operation. Exactly. So that's kind of
Maar ik denk dat dat wel een stuk natuurlijk
and I think using subtask ontology phase, there is one section. If we prove for those that they are safe, then we can build up more complex automations based on those, because if you prove that the base is safe, and you only build a safe stuff, then I think that could be a way forward to getting FDA to approve automations. That's the idea.
Not search Rob blog.
Yes, so that's if you look at the first slide where the clinician does it, then they actually, you could see where the tissue layers connect. So if you just select your region of interest correctly, then you will probably find in a real tissue as well where you should dissect the section. But I agree that
we are
in vivo procedure is a lot more common. So we just wanted to do a proof of concept.
based on the statement the line.
So that's the interest. The core reason why they do this section is because then they are not separating vessels. They open up tissue layers. So the whole goal of this procedure is not to have any bleeding. So once you have a bleeding, then you will have an error scenario. Then your automation should shut down and the surgeon should step in.
We are planning to move on this surgery.
So we are using stereo cameras, which are available during the imaging surgery. So this would be a standard that we should set up. And so they have the stereo camera, and from that we could reconstruct the 3D scenes. That was one of our goals, not to have any but you can.
This is our
How do you training there? What's your
relax a bit.
Between the
more crucial
for example, if you use this jet of the image, but you need
I'm not sure if I understand.
do you need to have a database?
No, what we do is so it's almost there.
You just check the separate line using camera.
Yeah, so what we do here is
the frame camera
No problem.
for the Da Vinci's camera, but we are planning to do this for we are working for
should be around a second from now.
Okay. Here, yeah.
So, what we have here is we reconstruct the surgical field from this image, and basically what we assume, and this is also an assumption here, is that you have the two tissue layers, and we are looking for the deepest points, because that's where if we retracted it from here, open it up, then your deepest point is going to be where your dissection line. So the reason why we don't need a training set is because we are just looking for the deepest points, and that's kind of like a
more crucial subtask, and the robot can make easier subtask than
I don't know. Maybe you may do a wrong in the tissue. Where you make mistakes.
Are you satisfied with the circumference of this
I think not the most
I think I know what it is. So, once again, this is really an early result, but
vector distribution is 600 times 400.
okay, yeah. So the way how we avoid it is that we select the start and the stop points of the dissection line. So in a real scenario, what we would have is
that's the decision at the start point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So in a real scenario that we would have with the dog, so here they want to dissect basically between these two structures. So they would select this point and this point as the start and the stop point, and the algorithm will only search on this direction. So that's how we avoid going off the structure we want to express.
So you detect the deepest point, deepest one.
The standard Da Vinci system have none of this function.
Well, we could use the master as a 3D mouse to select the points. But for that is not in the clinical system. We need to implement that.
So in your school you have
We have this setup, almost similar. We have a full Da Vinci system with DPRK boxes, but it's kind of funny because in Hungary we don't have any Da Vincis working in hospitals. We have only one Da Vinci in Hungary, and that is in our lab. So it's kind of funny. We have Da Vinci trained surgeons in Hungary, but no Da Vincis. Yeah, we don't have any surgical robotics in clinical. Hungary is surgeons really like to come to our lab because they are like, I really want to use the Da Vinci, can I use it? Yeah, then in so you can it's called Open University. It's a university in Budapest, in the northern part of Budapest.
Are you up?
Actually, even need Daniel, the other guy,
Okay, so are you all done here? Right, okay. So thank you, that was excellent. Great stuff.
Thank you very much.
If you can get the DVRK ready for the next team now, please.
Okay.
Yeah? And I know once you're all sorted, if we can at some point look through your slides and your video, and then at the lunch break at 12:30, if you take across your laptop and make sure the AV is sorted on that main projector in the main theatre. Is that okay?
Okay.
And then obviously you want me to... Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Cool, that was excellent. So then, we're going to change it.
yeah, I see like the girl is sitting up.
fixed focal plane system. We can mainly do surface image